Hey everyone, Sean Dawson here from Julie Harris Realty with your December 2022 update. Merry Christmas. I'll jump straight into it with our monthly Corelogic indices breakdown. So we're talking, of course, about Greater Brisbane here, so that includes Brisbane itself, Ipswich, Logan, and the Moreton and Redland regions. First category, so all dwellings. So the difference between November last year, so 2021, and November this year, 2022, for all dwellings, so freehold homes, strata properties, Brisbane, up 3.3% still, but the difference month on month for that category, so the difference between October and November 2022, down 2%, which is pretty similar in keeping with last month's stats. The houses category, so freehold homes, excluding strata properties, year on year stat up 2.3%, down month on month 2.2%. So it looks like it's starting to get a bit more rapid, that decrease in value. And then the units category, so strata properties, townhouses, apartments. The the year on year stat up 8.9%, so still in a really strong position compared to this time last year. But the month on month stat down 0.5%, which I think is a bit more than what we saw last month. So important to be aware of what is happening in the market at the moment. Now, the last few weeks, I've been seeing a handful of sponsored kind of like video posts by real estate agents, various agents on my Facebook feed and other socials, talking about the general doom and gloom in this market. And I think there's an obvious reason why we're seeing a lot of those videos at the moment. There are a lot of agents out there that need to be getting properties on the market to sell, and they're trying to peddle some kind of like fear into their clients to get those properties on the market. Now, yes, we are in a declining market, and yes, buyer sentiment is considerably softer than what it was 6 months ago. But I think it's very important to be aware that if you are planning to sell your property, one would assume that it is a property that you've probably owned for longer than the last 2 or 3 years at a minimum. And if that's the case, you're in a really strong position at the moment to be getting your property sold, prepared and sold. Generally speaking, the stats for Brisbane over the last 3 years are still plus 30% at this point compared to this time, even at the beginning of COVID. So I think if you're worried about that stat at the moment, I don't think you need to be. Yes, you're not going to get as much as you would have got a year ago or 6 months ago, but you're still going to achieve a very strong sale compared to what you would have done 2.5, 3 years ago. If you're worried about the fact that your property has declined in value since you purchased it, I'd be willing to bet that you've probably only bought that property in the last 12 months. And if you're already thinking about that, I don't really know why you need to, because if you bought it in the last 12 months, whether it's a property that you live in or it's an investment property, you have no need to sell that property. We are in a soft spot at the moment, but it's bound to turn around at some point. It's just because at the moment we've got this continuing interest rate rises, of course, from the RBA, and there's no real telling yet when that will halt. They can't indefinitely raise those interest rates, of course. There will be a point when those interest rates do slow or stop, and that's at the point where we believe that buyer sentiment will improve dramatically. And with the interstate and international net migration that Queensland still experiences, with things like, though it's a long way off, things like the Olympics, there's no reason to really be worried at this point if you have had a property for medium to long term and you're selling it because you're in some kind of downsizing cycle or progression in your life's your life's plan. So if you want to start talking about preparing your home for sale in the new year, of course I am more than willing to help you. I'll be here throughout the Christmas period, happy to advise you on what you need to prepare that house for sale. Happy to advise you on what you might need to do in terms of renovations. I'm able to provide trades and all that kind of stuff. Talking about that buyer sentiment, I really don't know why people are so worried at the moment. Case in point, 14 Macquarie Street in Wakerley. Now, this is a property I know that I've banged on a fair bit about with my videos and things like that, but this is a property that we've just settled for $1.3 million, which represents a street record all out for all properties on that street, and it represents a really, really, really strong, if not the strongest number for that particular kind of house in that estate, the Mossvale estate in Wakerley. Very, very beautiful, well-kept, but original, typical 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car home on 600 square metre blocks, no swimming pool, no significant renovations or additions, and we received 7 offers in the first week, 3 or 4 of those offers being at the very top of that range, compared to that sale price. Over the course of the campaign, we had inquiries and or inspections from more than 150 buyers, and I would say that generally speaking, I would describe that campaign as very strong, and I would describe buyer interest during that campaign as rabid, if you want to talk about it like that, all during this like perceived downturn in the market. So I don't think you have much to worry about if it's been in your plans to get your property on the market in 2023. Of course, it takes the right agent to prepare the home for sale or advise you on how to prepare the home for sale. It takes the right agent to know what to do in terms of marketing. It takes the right agent to get that property in front of the right people online. And I really do believe that it takes the right agent to know how to negotiate to get the best offer for your property. Make sure you pick the right agent. That right agent is me. If you want to contact me, you can reach me on 0407 149 757. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next year.